Welcome everyone to episode 36 of the Video Game Book Club. I'm Tubby Mora, and today I am joined by Nakuso and Soul Charizard. Say hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. So this time around, we're going to be focusing on Bayonetta 3, which was developed by Platinum Games, published by Nintendo, and was originally released on October 28th, 2022 for the Nintendo Switch. On Platinum Games' official website, Executive Director Hideki Kamiya had this to say about the game. Quote, 8 years have passed since Bayonetta graced us with her presence. Get ready for the latest and long-awaited third installment of the non-stop climactic action experience. Bayonetta 3 is finally back on a scale that surpasses everything that the franchise has offered so far. New locations, new abilities, and a brand new look and feel. Our ever-elegant, graceful, and alluring Umbra Witch is ready to take the world by storm for the third time. Get ready for Bayonetta 3. But that's how the director described the game. How would everyone here describe the game? And the order of presenting will be Nakuso, Tubby Mora, and then Soul Charizard. And please be advised, there are spoilers ahead. And with that said, let's get started. Question 1. Describe the game in one sentence.
Bayonetta 3. Of course, we have our extravagant lady back, not only to save the world, but the entire multiverse as we know it, with the help of old and new allies through different locations, known and unknown to humankind. Next.
Sexy witch demon dances, poses, and stylishly executes enemies with unique weapons and her demonic hair in order to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe from a bad guy no one really cares about. Next.
Did you seriously have to say that?
You got Soul, this is your game. Let's hear it. One sentence to rule them all.
Sorry, hang on a second. My brain's still a little bit scrambled from.
I've been looking forward to this, Soul. This is your area of expertise. And for anyone who's listening, This is like Soul's, like one of Soul's favorite games of all time. So, keep that in.
Is it?
Yeah, this is one of his favorite game franchises of all time.
It is.
Oh,
So
I thought you meant franchises or genre?
franchises.
Or both?
Or both. Probably both. Like, this is his thing. Like what we talk about God of War, Soul talks about Bayonetta.
Or Devil May Cry.
Or Devil May Cry. But this is just one of his top game series. So I'm really curious. I'm really curious to hear what you got to say from a Bayonetta aficionado. So
I'm not that much of an expert, okay? But all right.
I believe
Humble brag.
Humble brag. But yeah, go ahead, Soul. Whenever you're ready, dude.
Jeez, I had it in my head for some reason. Give me a second. This is why I kept not getting a script. All right. Bayonetta 3. My brain is still scrambled from the last game that I finished.
Just say Bayonetta 3 is a game. Come on. One sentence.
Yeah, I know. Hang on. Bayonetta 3. Revamped. Take 2. Or take 3.
I ain't editing anything, man.
I know.
This is wrong. Go for it, dude.
Bayonetta 3, stylish, sexy, and action-packed games.
Question 2. What platform did you play the game on? And briefly describe your playstyle towards the game.
Well, I decided out of all the platforms to play on, I think the Switch was the best option.
I think so. I think you might have something there.
Yeah. I really would have loved to play it on PC or PS5, but
dude,
this is all I really had.
I tried to put that cartridge into the PS5. It didn't work, so here we are.
It sucks. So the way I went through this game is, man, this is going to be a longer one just because of the variety and play style of this type of game.
Yeah, it's fine.
So let's start off let's go from the top.
Mm-hmm.
I started with the base weapons, of course. Sin Gomorrah, the first Inferno summon that you are introduced to in Bayonetta 3. And I used that all the way up until pretty much you get the yo-yo weapon.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, instead of the base weapons, which was also fun, the yo-yos, which also God of War throwback references,
Represent.
pretty much allow you to extend your combos, and I just love the variety of the different moves that you can do like within the game. So with the yo-yos, I used that probably for like 50% of the game until of course I checked out the other weapons, and surprisingly enough, after trying out the second weapon just before that, which was, I forgot what it was, but it was this really slow one.
The G pillar.
Yeah, the G pillar. I couldn't really get into that. I tried to use it. I mean, it's cool, but it was like just too slow for me. And in these types of games, I kind of just like something a little bit faster. The G pillar, it does a lot of damage, but honestly, I feel like there's a better weapon like that kind of combines the aspects of the yo-yos and the G pillar, and that is the war train weapon that you get like later on in the game. So that weapon is the one that like morphs, kind of like Dante's bike.
Oh yeah.
In a way, in Devil May Cry 5. That's like pretty much like the gameplay of that, and also it has like the extensions where you can hold the button, similar to the yo-yos, to also extend your attacks and your duration. So that was like, honestly, it was so surprising because I thought, I'm not gonna like this weapon, but then I like looked at some of the upgrades, and then I was like, wow, this weapon's actually really fun. It has like great mobility with the dash. It kind of just it combines like everything I loved about the previous weapons just into one. And in terms of just like summons, of course, you got Tubby's favorite, Queen Butterfly.
Oh hell yeah!
I used her for a little bit of the portion of the game. Of course, Gamora is the one I used the most. The first one. Gotta go back to the originals every once in a while.
Yep. OG.
The ones, and also probably the one surprising that I used the most was Bao, which was the frog, or AKA the Genshin Impact character,
singing frog.
Yeah, and I loved her playstyle just because one, the attacks were cool, and it was always just exciting to see if you could get your Ainz Ogun ultimate off, because she has like 3 phases of singing. It's just so fun in combat, trying to dodge and just get it off. And then when you had that blood rain just pour down and deal like so much damage, it's super satisfying, surprisingly. So that was the one.
That's if you can try to pull it off easily.
It's hard.
I think there's I think you need like certain items for that too. It's like make sure it doesn't get enraged and stuff like that.
No.
Yeah, because it could easily get them like the summons enraged. In terms of other things like upgrades, costumes, and mirrors, I upgraded pretty much most of the stuff because you could get like a lot of the upgrade material needed. I focused mainly on the base weapons, then yo-yos, like I said, the war train, getting all of that up. The abracadabra that you get near the end of the game, like 90% in, I also messed around with and upgraded the majority of it with the leftover stuff that I had. And I mean, that's like a really fun weapon. And again, this game has like so many ways you can just go through this, like this genre, of course, is meant to be replayed over and over. Not only just for your enjoyment, but also for the thrill of getting platinum medals. I was just blown away, honestly, by the amount of variety and the costumes, like Rodin's treasures. The intermission. I got most of the colors, and I also got some of the treasures for Viola's room. And also, I didn't know until like later on, probably like 50% way into the game, that you could get the mirrors. Because I didn't know I was like, what is mirrors? Like, I was confused. So like I bought a couple and I tried it out, and I was like, what? You can actually play as the spoilers, alternate versions of Bayonetta.
What?
I was like,
alternate
what?
versions?
Not only not only that, you could change like the colors of them, not just the standard. Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, man. So of course, my favorite that I used for most of the game was I believe Super Mario B2, which was the Chinese outfit version of Bayonetta.
Leeway.
That was I just felt something with that specific one.
Felt something.
Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, the challenges in the world also. I pretty much did try to do most of them, and the additional battles and secrets. And overall, yeah, a good portion of the game I try to do as much as I could, as I typically do, just to get a better idea of the game overall. Next.
So, like my good friend Nakuso here, I chose to play the game on the Switch. I don't know, it just really wanted me to play on the Switch, so I went for that. Primarily played using a Pro Controller setup. I did try like 2 or 3 levels in handheld mode when I was over at my cousin's house. And for the most part, it was pretty smooth, so no complaints there. But for something like this, I really wanted to play on the big screen, so that's how I played the rest of the game on. In terms of difficulty, played it on normal difficulty, and I primarily focused on the main story while sprinkling a few of those challenge levels here and there just to try things out. Weapon-wise, as Sol and Nakuso probably had guessed already, I gravitated a lot towards the G-Pillar, that large rifle melee weapon. Right now, we're playing Monster Hunter, and I'm using the Greatsword, and that's the closest thing that felt, to me at least, in terms of weight and power, and it was awesome. But the moment those the RNA yo-yos came out, it was over. That's all I used. It's basically the Blades of Chaos, as Nakuso was saying. And what's funny is the moment I swapped over to that weapon, something just clicked in my brain. And oddly enough, after I switched to that, I started getting mostly platinum medals on the rest of my gameplay. So I don't know what happened, but it's just like you were saying, it's just it felt smoother, because the G-Pillar, as much as I love it, you're so open to a lot of attacks. So switching to a much faster weapon definitely helped me get through the game, which was awesome. So yeah, really resonated with that weapon type. In terms of like collectibles and everything, I didn't really strive to unlock everything per se. It's just as I was playing normally, as I gained credits, I unlocked specific things and I just tried out different outfits. But yeah, I dabbled in a lot. After every level, I dabbled in a lot of the weapon styles. Like I would go into training mode and maybe spend like 15 minutes just messing around. But actually taking it to me through the playthrough, I didn't really do it. I just really enjoyed those yo-yos. And just like Nakuso said, this game offers a lot of replayability. I would actually be willing to play through the game again with each of the other weapons just to see what kind of experience it would be. But yeah, that's how I played it. In terms of summons, Nakuso called me out. I did use the Madam Butterfly, Queen Butterfly a lot. She was my primary slot, and then for the secondary, I would pretty much just swap in whatever new demon monster we would summon. So I would use whatever character that was, or whatever monster that was, in combination with my standard combo setup, just to see kind of what they would do. And yeah, it didn't disappoint. It was really fun. Yeah, that's my play style when it came to Bayonetta 3. Next,
I have a question.
Yes,
actually,
what you got?
So you said, did you unlock the mirror costumes?
Yes, I wore.
Which one did you use?
Which one did I use?
The most.
To be honest, I really liked her new design. I pretty much unlocked the colors instead.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I of course,
respected.
I did red, a lot of red. My favorite color. I just had to. Red and black. It's just something about that combination is fun. So yeah, but yeah, it was cool though seeing the other costumes that you could actually wear based on the other Bayonettas. If I actually went out and bought one though, and I actually saved my credits properly, I'd probably go for the one that you just said, the Chinese inspired outfit. Because for reasons, for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's just primarily what I did. Base Bayonetta style, with some color variations, and I was happy. I really like
Awesome.
I really like her design actually. Bayonetta 3, so
Yeah, that's great.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Definitely my favorite of the three. But yeah, that's it. Over to you, Soul.
Wait, hold on. I thought you would use the giant chainsaw sword before.
It's just I couldn't help myself, man. The moment I used those yo-yos and it just gave me like flashbacks of God of War, I was like, I can't not pick this
You
weapon.
cannot skip the opportunity, huh?
Yeah, but if that weapon was not in there, definitely the pillar or Nakuso's weapon. Huh?
Or if it's like later on in the game.
Yeah, those other weapons were a lot of fun when I was messing with them in training mode. It's just I just wanted to commit myself to the yo-yo and get all the skills and everything. But yeah,
Okay.
maybe next time. But yeah, what about you, dude? What was your play style?
Okay. As everyone played it, it was on the Switch.
What?
I checked the store. They ran out. They ran out on the PlayStation. They ran out on the Xbox.
Yeah, man. Same here.
Surprisingly,
unavailable.
Surprisingly, it's not on Steam.
Dang. Oh well, maybe next time.
Yeah. Oh well. As for my playstyle, I focus on the story, but I managed to do some challenges. There were some challenges that were like kind of difficult on the first run, so I decided to come back to that later. And then there are some collectibles I got, especially the colors, the costumes and stuff like that, and decorations or souvenirs for Viola's room.
Mm-hmm.
But the weapons I use is like the standard. What was that standard weapon called? What was it called again?
The
Color My World.
Color My World. Yeah, the 4 pistols.
Yep. like for the campaign single player use, but after I played like Bayonetta 2 on the Switch, when I borrowed your Bayonetta 2, Tubby,
Mm-hmm.
I got the Love is Blue.
Oh yeah, the original.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I did buy this certain item for getting a lot of currency, which is I think it's called. I'm looking at the game right now. What was it? Melee of Rewards, which gives you in using torture attacks, you gain more orbs, 25%.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yep. And then from there, it's like I think after I finished it, I stuck with Love is Blue because there's something I just like.
Really?
Yeah.
So that means you didn't have any summons in your combos then.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm stubborn that way.
And Love is Blue is Bayonetta 2, right?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
He's a god.
Yeah,
He doesn't even need extra.
But I do have a
help.
secondary though. I do use I think I use what? I think Tartarus. I adapt from a secondary weapon. I just adapt and what I feel the most on playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the demons, same thing as you, Tubby, and Nakuso. It's the Madama Butterfly and
Hell yeah.
What was my other demon that I had? I mean before what was that demon's name? Labalus. I think I used.
Which one was that? Describe it again.
It's that lion demon that can split into
okay. Yep.
1 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think I used mostly the dragon or the clock tower. No, not the clock tower.
The clock tower. I think it's funny.
Or the spider.
Yeah.
The spider one.
I used that a lot too. Yeah.
That's a good one too.
It is. So yeah, those were mostly the 3 of them. But I just during the single player campaign on my first run, I just go with what the monster is given to me at the beginning.
Okay.
At the beginning of every stage. So yeah. Next.
Question 3. What are 2 things you like about the game? And we will be alternating between everyone here.
So the first thing that I liked about the game is surprisingly the John stealth mini games. I don't know. I mean, okay, this is kind of weird. This for everyone who may be listening. I never played Bayonetta 2. So I believe in Bayonetta 2, didn't you get to play as John?
Not like this.
No.
This
Oh, you
is
didn't
completely
know?
new. This is a completely new thing. The stealth stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, did you get to play as her in general?
I don't think so.
No? So,
No.
okay, all right. All
I
right,
mean,
all right.
you do
This-
play her, but it's like at the end game and doing those gauntlet.
Like the post game stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
So she is playable in a way.
Yes.
But not like this.
Okay. So I did not expect when I was just playing through this game, the side missions just to be completely different. But it was a nice change of pace from the main game. At first, I was like, I don't know, kind of seems too gimmicky, and it is. But but it's
But-
pretty fun. It's like very simple. It's just a good like change of pace from like the constant action and like adrenaline that happens in most of the main chapters. And for this one, you know, you have a lot of cool weapons and other like cool things that you can do in terms of like getting through a level. Variety of different weapons, and if you want to choose to do stealth or not, or go into showers, as
Ooh.
Tubby Moore told me.
Oh boy.
Yep. The shower scene.
Oh, my lord.
I didn't expect that little cutscene to play out. That was cool.
Oh yeah. It was awesome. Just that whole segment, the whole sequence. They even created their own separate little intro and outro credits for it, kind of like it was like a TV show almost.
Yeah, the intro and outro.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. It's like this little game, and like, you know, they're like short missions, 5 minutes or less. But in terms of just like breaking up the gameplay and this like giving you something fun and silly to do, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Next.
All right. So, as many of you may or may not know, one of the most favorite things that we like to do, this is referring to Genshin, by the way, is we like to, or more specifically, Nakaso and I, we like to look at the attack animations of any new characters coming out. And basically, whenever a new character comes out, we perform an attack, we wait, we get to see what the reset animation looks like, we perform more attacks, and just kind of like analyzing the animations. And I will say, the team at Platinum Games, they completely knocked it out of the park with all of their attack animations. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but we all know that Bayonetta is elegant, sexy. She knows what she's got. She's, you know, she struts her stuff. But the way that she uses a lot of these weapons, only she would use it in that way. Just like when you first get the 4 pistols, the Color My World. Like, we've seen her use them in the first 2 games, but the way she uses it in this game, where she's literally like dancing almost like I think it's called flamenco style. It's just when she's like tapping her feet, the way she's positioning her arms, like there is so much love and care put into the attack animations of Bayonetta. And what's crazy is it does not let up with every single weapon in this game. Like, whether she's using the 4 pistols, the large rifle, the yo-yos, she uses a freaking microphone stand. She uses a fan. She uses stone gauntlet pillars like a shield. There's so much stuff. The magician's cane hat. It's just, and she does everything so elegantly and with her own flair and style. And I'm absolutely love it. They did not hold back. Yeah.
That's an incredible amount of work. Like, to put all those different animations for all that stuff, that is like, and to make it look good, not only while doing it, but in combat.
Yes.
That's like, I'm impressed.
It's unbelievable. And the summons, like, they didn't have to, but whenever she's summoning a specific monster, she like changes her, like the way she does her stance when she's dancing. I was like, oh my God, you in the animation team, you guys are insane. Just the amount of tender love and care that they went for with, and this is just specifically talking about the animation, is just, it's incredible. did an amazing job. And really, if you're playing Bayonetta 3, just go to the training area, turn off all the enemies and just watch. Just look at Bayonetta when she's attacking. Attack and hold your attack buttons and just watch her as she just stylishly executes these combos with just pure flair. It's amazing. So yeah, kudos to them. I love it. Great job, you guys. So I'm passing it to you next.
Okay, so there's one thing I like about the game. It's like I like those crazy gameplay changes, like the whole Metrovania kind of style when when playing as a Jean, or it's or when you're doing those rail shooting games like in the Chinese area.
Oh yeah.
But and then I think the most that shows up was the time playing in France. It's like another one of those what's that genre called when you're like top down and it's like on a fight where you're playing as a fighter or something like that. I forgot what the genre is called.
The side, like a side-scrolling shooter.
Yeah, side-scrolling shooter. That's when you can tell that they're crazy with that they're
just having fun with it at that point.
Oh yeah, and of course the kicker was everyone's favorite, the singing one.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that was crazy. I really love how they changed up their gameplays on different levels. It makes me feel happy that I played this one.
Yeah, you can just tell that the developers they were just enjoying themselves, and it really shows in a lot of their game design in Bayonetta 3. So,
oh yeah,
love it.
All right, next.
The second thing that I enjoyed about this game is the customization of character colors, costumes, and upgrades. I talked about it earlier with the different costumes and different upgrades and like other those colors that you can blend in. So when I play a game and it has any type of customization that I can do for my character, I can spend like an unhealthy amount of time doing that. like give me any kind of RPG or like
Monster Hunter,
just anything, like that. I can like spend like way too much time just like fooling around with it, but it's fun. Like I was saying, I didn't expect that you could change the colors and different things, accessories for the different Bayonettas, like even if you use a mirror. So I just like messed around with like just the different versions of Bayonetta and just like messed around with like different color schemes and see which ones I could get to look really cool. And also this the like a sheer amount of upgrades just within the game and just being able to play it very differently, like each time with each weapon, like Tubby, you were saying before, like this like the shield weapon they were talking about, I did not even touch that. Like at all.
Gauntlet thing, yeah.
Yeah, I not like I unlocked it, but it's like I was just like so focused on what I was doing. I like that one. Like I was saying, the abracadabra and the one like you get all the way at the end of the game. Like I didn't touch those like at all. So there's so much customization and like I was just kind of like not gonna lie. I'm surprised that they added this much because generally in these types of games you don't have like this much of ways to play through the game, like just in multiple different aspects. So kudos to the team for adding so much, just not in terms of like gameplay variety, but just in terms of customizing Bayonetta and just the different things that you could do. And it was just a blast.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Tubby? How about you? What's your second
thing? This is so stupid. My second thing, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. I absolutely love the dartboard menu in Overworld. Like it is such a unique way of presenting information, presenting a menu I haven't had like this much fun going through like a menu just messing with it since like Persona. Because how every time you change a page, it like there's like a neat little animation that swaps to the next screen, and it was just so funny. Just I remember when I first got to the menu overworld, I'm like, no way, no way. Can I just throw these darts at anything? And you can actually throw it pretty much at anything on the screen. And depending on what you're hitting and what you're throwing it at, it'll make different noises and different sounds, different interactions. And it was just fun, just chucking darts at everything. And then, of course, as you progress through the game and you're unlocking things, another cool feature about this dart menu overworld is Viola's room starts to fill up with all these unique things that you've gathered through your journey in this game. And apparently, I found out this way after there's a book that you can purchase from Rodon. I think it's like a storybook that is put into Viola's room, and if you hit it, and once you've acquired all the keys, it'll actually bring you to another level, a secret level.
Really?
Yeah, full narration and everything. Like it's a complete separate story with Bayonetta.
What?
And then when you reach the end, you get like this really tasteful skin.
Wow, I did not
It's
even
really
know that
cultured
was a
skin.
thing.
Yeah, there's a lot. I love it when games, because of course the menu in the overworld people don't really think about in games. It's kind of just like most of the time it's just standard text and you just select an option and that's it. But once in a while you get a really awesome menu in overworld. Like the developers really put a lot of love and care into it, and it just really helps tie the whole experience together. Because when you think about it, the menu in the overworld, that is what you'll be going to a lot when you're playing this game. So kudos to the team. You can just, I don't know, you can tell this game is just oozing with love and passion between the development team, and I'm very glad that they that they decide to put this in, and it just ties in with everything too. So well done. Did not feel out of place at all. It was really, really cool. But yeah, go ahead, Sol. Go for the last one.
What was my second favorite or second likable one? Can't remember. I haven't thought of that one. Guess it's just like. I guess it was the leveling up system.
Oh, like the skill tree.
Yeah, and then you have like different. You have like they're somewhat linked. You have like a certain. If you like go to the last part of the leveling up system, you have to do like a certain challenge for that demon that you have to work with.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then once you complete that, you can finally unlock that one.
Mhm.
And what's funny is that I don't really use it, but I kind of like that method for certain weapons that you like the most.
Yeah, just pouring all your points into it.
Yep.
Did the other Bayonetta games have a skill tree? I don't think so, right?
No, they only have the store where you buy the combo stuff or the weapons.
Oh, but
Or
not
like the-
not
or
to
like the
this level. Not to this level.
No, not this one.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I like about it. And yeah, that's about it. Next.
Question 4. What are 2 things you did not like, and how would you improve it? And again, we'll be alternating between everyone here.
All right. So why? I mean, this is personal preference, but
Yes.
how many of you did the challenge where you have to capture like the cat, bird, and frog?
Once in a while.
Okay, how
Honestly, not
much-
really.
All right, how much did you ever complete like any of them like fully in a level?
No.
Oh,
did
I
not.
think the closest thing I can get to per stage was like 1 or 2.
Okay, so that I did it like a couple of times, and it's cool because you unlock like a side chapter that's also like important to the story. There's
Mhm.
like story bits in it, and like that's great. Like that's cool in order to like unlock some additional story stuff. Just a way that Okay, this is like not to rag on like it's kind of like the game's fault, but it's also like the Switch's fault. I mean, unless I'm just blind,
Okay.
when I'm playing like on my TV, it was so hard to see. Like even though they have like a red glowing like light, it was so hard to see each one. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
I
just the
know.
way to like that's the way to catch them right. I was like, I don't know if I like this. And like it's like some of them are just like super annoying to catch. And it's unfortunate because the stuff like the side chapters are like kind of important-ish, like additional stuff to it. And you just have to do it in each level. And like after a couple, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But it's like I was like so down because like after completing a couple of them and like actually doing like the like those chapters with
Uh-huh.
Bayonetta, it definitely adds to the game. But it's like I really wish there was a different way, or maybe if like the Switch was like more powerful, it would have been better to like see. But it's just the way like in terms
Visual
of catch.
clarity.
Yeah, it was just the way in terms of like like not just visually, but just like catching them. Like it was just more annoying than just like kind of fun. Like I mean, I understood like each pattern, like like the frog was the easiest. You just had to find it. The cat kind of like moves in a certain pattern. The bird also moves in a certain pattern. But just like the way that you go about it, it just wasn't fun. And like usually I can like put up with a lot of stuff, but I just stopped like caring about it. And it was just unfortunate because that's the only way you can experience those additional chapters that you can
Mm,
unlock.
okay.
Yeah,
So
so one thing that I would improve is put this on the. Can you like
Switch Pro.
put this? Yeah, put this on. No, you gotta have like a. Yeah, pretty much just an upgraded hardware, or just make the challenges more fun. I mean, fun is always subjective, but just for me, I just didn't like the way that you had to unlock them by catching the animals. I wish it was like something else, like a time limit challenge of fighting enemies, or like having to use a specific weapon or moveset against certain
Okay.
enemies.
Help reinforce the gameplay.
Yeah, because there's like just so much in terms of that, and I respect that they went for something different. They had like a lot of different variety in terms of different things you could do. But I feel like this could have been more like if it's like unlocking something somewhat important in terms of different chapters, just make it more interesting.
Okay.
Next.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about that. Talking about being able to see it and try to capture these things. Because it relates to one of my points actually too. All right. The gloves are coming off here. I've been talking a lot of praise, but I gotta call them out on some things here. So one of the things that I did not like and how I would improve it. So don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the ending sequence of chapter 12 when you're playing as Ball and you're literally murdering the enemies through the power of opera in your vocal cords.
Boy.
It's awesome. It's great performance. It's an awesome rhythm
Oh,
game.
I know what you're going to say. Yep, I already know.
Yep.
However, it was very difficult to tell visually what direction the bats were coming from, especially when you look at it, because the bats themselves, they're dark, but also the background in the night sky is dark. So there's that blend, and it's difficult, especially when this is your first time playing it. It's hard to land everything. Of course, there are crazy people out there doing like 100%. Oh yeah, this is easy, blah blah blah. But we're talking about like a person's first initial playthrough. It was not very good. Like the beat itself and the rhythm of the notes were on point for the most part, but visually it got very confusing. I know the bats themselves would briefly flash before attacking, but they could have definitely added more to help reinforce it. Some things that I wrote down here, it's like they probably could have reinforced the visual cues, like color coordinating the monsters as they're flying in, maybe blue on the left, purple in the middle, red on the right. Maybe the bats could have had an additional animation prior to attacking, like an animation where they would enlarge themselves first and then flash and then attack the player. Give players, that extra beat to kind of get ready for the next bat approaching. And I started like thinking about it as like what else was missing, and I can't help but think and compare this to like the Rhythm Heaven game series. Like go check that out.
Or Elite Beat Agents.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of like keeping everything simple but using strong visual cues to reinforce the audio cues, because the music and the set piece and just everything that led up to that was fantastic. It's just they need that extra reinforcement either visually or through an additional audio cue to help play it. A good reason why I'm bringing up Rhythm Heaven is because I kid you not, the way they designed that game, the sound design and how they perfect music, visual, and just like animation together, you can literally play that game. I kid you not, you can literally play that game with your eyes closed and you'll know exactly what to press and when to press it. I think when it comes to rhythm music games, if you can achieve that or some aspect of that, you're heading in the right direction. Here it's like I feel like it's a cool concept, but they could have cooked it a little bit more. And it just sucks because this is like one of my favorite parts of the game, but it's also one of the most flawed parts about the game too. So hopefully, I don't know if they'll ever try it again just because it's such a unique thing. It's the first time it's happened in a Bayonetta game, but if they were to ever improve upon this in other Bayonetta games, I really hope that they kind of improve a lot of the reinforcement visually for this the music sections. So yeah, that's my thing. I'm not hating on it, I'm just providing constructive feedback here, and hopefully they listen. Probably not, but we'll see. Okay, anyways, so pass it on to you.
It's a good game and all.
Uh-oh.
But granted, playing as Viola, gameplay wise, there's something. I'm not sure it's just me, but I feel like there's something off about her. It's like when I dodge, I feel like I'm not blocking. It's not like some sort of block or anything. If I want to dodge, I would probably like double tap the ZR button.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I know she doesn't learn which time yet because she's still a rookie, but something about there's her game. It's like she's trying to be like an evasive character, but also a counter character in a certain way to engage that witch time mode.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And it's just like when I tried playing it in different, and there's like no way of like knowing how to counter them, like counter the enemy's attacks with it. I've been like rapidly pressing the R button, like trying to make sure it's like please hit, please witch time, please witch time, and it's either a hit or a miss.
Yeah, it's a good thing you bring that up because I was encountering the same issues, specifically with
What?
Yeah.
Are you talking about? Is this the same issue I ran into? Is it like sometimes a witch time would activate, sometimes it wouldn't?
Yeah.
This is more
like it would like
Viola though, for sure.
With Viola,
I figured it out. I think you have to like certain attacks that it'll like not activate a longer one, and like others you have to like other attacks that activates the longer version. It's either that or you have to like hold it and like you can't attack immediately after appearing. It's like, but I do know what you were talking about because I ran into that. I was like, what am I doing wrong?
The only problem is like it has to be on point or on time. It's like
it's like way too strict.
Yeah,
like, you have to be perfectly precise to hit that mark. If you don't hit it, it's like it's either a short witch time or it's just like a regular counter. And then I'm pretty sure I know she's. And again, well, I have that issue with the gameplay wise of her. The story of the back, I know she's still new, but I can't help but the fact that I need a bit more reason to care about her, like a bit more of her backstory.
That's fair.
Because it just doesn't feel. She doesn't feel like she can carry on the new generation just yet. She needs a bit more time. Needs a bit more time, like certain conflicts here and there, and maybe like something to prove herself that she'll carry on that name.
Mm-hmm.
It's she needs a bit more work with her combat and her backstory a little bit.
So
that's just my thing, though.
So your the thing you didn't like is just just Viola as a package, basically in the game.
She has that potential. Don't get me wrong. She just
because they showed like glimpses of things that's really interesting with her that they'll probably improve upon in the next game. But I understand. I do agree with what you're saying. I like the idea. Like I like the idea of it. It's just it's gonna be hard to if they're gonna focus on like
Viola.
I actually so this kind of reminds me of like
what?
I wonder if they're gonna do like the Devil May Cry thing. Like how Nero was introduced in 4, and then in 5 he was kind of like the main.
Yeah, I hope so. Who knows?
They might do that.
I hope so.
Yeah,
at the very least.
That's tough, man. Those are some tough heels to to fill.
I know it is.
I'm being honest. It's just
I know it's a big list, but that's just when I'm maybe like if they can't focus on one, if they can't have both, at least focus on one or the other. Like focus on her gameplay and maybe a bit more on her like more good on her gameplay or more good on her backstory. It's like just to pick which one is better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just feel like she needs a bit more work to it.
It's interesting that you mentioned the because you're earlier you were talking about how like when you're trying to dodge, it's not activating witch time, like it should be. Well, what's interesting that you mentioned that is because, in chapter 10, spoiler alert, when you're fighting Luca as a werewolf monster, he's kicking the crap out of you, which is that by itself could be its own problem. That difficulty spike was huge, but during that fight, I realized that in order to activate witch time more consistently with her, you have to actually counter with her blade more.
Yeah.
But it's like in our brains, right? After playing Bayonetta, it's like we're so programmed, even from the first game, to kind of just like dodge and activate witch time. Trigger. So, no, I feel you, dude. Like, if they're going to make her a more counter-heavy character, they need to give more in her kit that allows for that type of play style. Or
if you play... Okay, I'm going to bring a bit of Devil May Cry here. Hang on a second. So, in Devil May Cry 4, there is a play style that you can switch up to. You can either have Swordmaster, you can have Gunslinger, Royal Guard, Trickster. If they can somehow adapt to that kind of a play style for Viola, I wouldn't mind that. That would be like a certain nod to like Devil May Cry favorite character Dante's playstyle a little bit. Yeah. Like just where counter or blocking kind of things.
It's tricky.
They could do a Virgil and Dante kind of combination.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
Which would be cool.
Since she's using a sword, she can actually do something with that too.
I described when I was playing, I was like, man, she's a poor man's Virgil.
Budget Virgil.
This is the low motivations Virgil.
She definitely has, like you said, she has potential. Her kit does need a little bit of work, to be honest, because like I don't know, it's just the way they designed her kit. It's like they really weren't sure what direction to head with her attacks.
Yep.
It's like I think it's weird because we know that she is a witch in training. She's supposed to have the basic stuff. But I just wish like her basic kit was really fleshed out. Like you don't have to give her all these weapons like Bayonetta for obvious reasons. But with what she has, I just wish it was more refined. And if
maybe that's why they're leading up to it. They're trying to maybe they did that on purpose to make it not as refined in the next game. It would be like that would be that style, but like improved from
it
because they obviously know how to do all those like the combat. They know how to work it. But it is interesting how you said that at least with what they had, it wasn't as refined, even with the limited amount of stuff.
Mm-hmm. It sucks because it's like we know for story wise why she's limited, but that necessarily shouldn't take away from the quote unquote fun factor of playing her. And I know a lot of people when she popped up, you get that sense of I have to play as Viola, where it should be cool, I get to play as Viola now.
Yeah,
It's just I hear you, man. We get you. We'll see how it pans out in future games.
She might be like the Raiden of Metal Gear Solid because it was the same. Like, man, I had to play as Raiden.
oh boy, right? It does have that feeling to it.
But then Metal Gear, the next one, man, this guy's sick. He's cool.
So cool now.
Jeez,
We gotta play that
Yeah.
at one point.
I need to replay Metal Gear Rising Revengeance one day. Anyways,
okay.
Next.
Back
again, Toby?
No, nothing. I was gonna say if someone hasn't played Metal Gear Rising in our group, they could always nominate it next year.
Yep.
But go ahead, Nuxo.
So the second thing that I didn't like, which also kind of plays into like, it's kind of funny. It plays into, this seems to be a recurring theme with a little bit of what Soul said and what Tubby said. This is more just like the visual clarity of being able to dodge or parry just in general in the game. Like even with the sound cues, I found like some of the enemies' attacks like came out like way too quick, or they were just hard to read. Of course, some of this was due to like the textures and the visual fidelity of the Switch, but just in general, it didn't feel good. Like I mean, call me a hipster, but I think Bayonetta 1 did like the dodging and like the visual clarity better. I mean, of course, some of this is because there's a lot more going on in this game. There's a lot more over the top stuff. You have summons, you fight like other summons too. But just like the way it feels in terms of like just trying to get that pure platinum feels like really hard, like unnecessarily hard, like kind of unfair in a way. Just because it's so hard for me personally to like see some of the things. I got a lot of like pure platinums. I got platinums, here and there, like a couple in each chapter and stuff. But just the way I would try to avoid some attacks and like it was like harder than I thought because like I pressed the button, I pressed it at the exact same time.
You mean when there's a big flabby piece of meat blocking you and you can't see the other enemies attacking?
It's so huge in a way. I mean, that could be like it's like the camera angle, but I'm just gonna go on the visual aspect. So of course, one thing they can improve in the next game is just better visual clarity, have things be easier to identify. Again, like you mentioned, maybe some of their attacks have a color coordinated thing. Like if they use a certain ranged attack or melee attack, it's a different color. Just so it's like easier to see. Maybe make the sound more appealing because it kind of blended in with the music a little bit too much, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, is it just me? Did you guys run into like when you're trying to like fight? It was just kind of hard to see what was going on at times.
Yeah,
slightly, but it's like I kind of see what's going on. But if there's like a buttload of enemies like spawn in the area, then and it's like they're way too aggressive, and it's like hard to tell who's hitting you and who's not.
Yeah, the problem I had is when especially if it's a large enemy and it's in the foreground, in front of the camera, and he's literally blocking everything that's happening, and your enemies like quote unquote attacking like the smaller ones because they're like hiding underneath the big ones. It's just like where the heck did you even come from? Where were you hiding? It especially it feels really cheap if enemies in the foreground that are blocking the camera end up performing an attack animation towards you, and it's just like okay, well, that's unfortunate.
I think what you can do about that.
There really isn't anything, and I think a good way to fix that is, of course, this is we're going to require a lot of programming, but if a camera is, let's say, it's facing Bayonetta and there are enemies, quote unquote, standing in front of the camera, prioritize giving the player clarity. So, it'll see through the enemy, but the enemy standing in front of the camera, they can't they quote unquote they cannot attack. They'll try to reposition themselves closer into frame before they attack.
That was Bayonetta 1 apparently.
Oh really? Okay. Well, there it is.
I was like looking it up, and that was like one of the issues other people had. Like apparently in Bayonetta 1, I never played 2, but apparently also in 2, enemies that weren't in frame didn't like attack you, like, or at least that frequently like that. So I was like wondering, because I was like, I don't remember like this amount of difficulty, like being like attacked and not being able to see as much in the first game.
It's their ambition. It's the director's ambition. It got so big it blocked the camera.
I think there's one issue that I have. It's like as you said about like a giant monster or boss. There's this one moment like in the witch trial area and the witch trial mode. There's a certain, that bat demon.
Wait. Is this another thing? Because we'll get to you on that one. If
no. I think it might be the same thing, but it's not like attacking from the back and it's like missing and it's like not in the background or foreground. I think
okay.
Like it's like I feel like it's more. I think it's more like the map is the stage is zoomed out as the boss is like right over the stage, floating up in the air. It's like okay, I need time to adjust and like trying to fight the other smaller enemies or like run around and hope I don't get hit immediately by its impending dooming strikes on me, like electric beam around me.
No, they definitely got to clean that camera work up a little bit more. But yeah, I feel you, Nox. So
yeah. Next.
Okay, so this one, I'm pretty sure Soul's going to talk about story in his section, so I'm just going to take a little bit off of that. It's really unfortunate that you don't really get to learn much about the other Bayonettas from the other universe. Like, you see them briefly, there's a few cutscenes here and there, but then they just die. Spoiler alert, they just die. And then it becomes like a recurring theme. Yeah, recurring theme. So you're like, hey, cool, that's a cool Bayonetta. Oh, she's gonna die. All right, never mind. I would have loved to see more interactions between them, because it seems like the only time you interact with them is the moment before they die, which is very unfortunate. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about like how they could have incorporated it a lot more. Like I think it would have been cool if we could actually play as them, like during parts of the game, because usually the way each level is set up is you're Bayonetta, you land in the world, you do that little still frame cutscene thing, kind of like telling you what just happened, and then you go about your journey, and then eventually you see the other Bayonetta, she's in trouble, you successfully rescue her, and then eventually some effed up thing happens, and then she dies. It would have been cooler to see them break out of that formula and just allow more interaction between your Bayonetta and the other Bayonetta. And perhaps as an introduction to the weapons, you can actually play as the other Bayonetta as well and just have them working together from the beginning or something. It's just, it's a shame because they're trying to flesh out these universes, but it's like they don't give us enough time to care for them because it's just, they're gone so quickly. And then it just becomes a reoccurring formula. So this is the problem too, is like, we were praising the game for the amount of variety and amount of different weapons, but if each Bayonetta is tied to a specific weapon, they just don't have enough time to really flesh out everything. The only solution to this is make the game longer, but then you have a problem with pacing too. So it's unfortunate. In all honesty, if it were, I don't know how successful this would be, but if it were up to me, and if they're going to go for the story of quote unquote multiverse style of a story, they should have really broken this game into multiple parts and like really have that successful build off. Because Bayonetta 3, it's trying to do so much, and in a lot of cases it succeeds in a lot of things, but at the same time it just crams too much into it, and this is the problem. Agree. The story kind of suffers for it. But yeah, I know you have a lot to say, so I'm just I'll pass it to you for this last bit.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you are close to saving one of them. However, it's in Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah, but
you think that she would have the bird, she would use the bird to at least speed up and like go over and swoop down and grab the original Bayonetta from dying from the black hole instead of
yeah,
like sacrificing herself.
I mean,
That would have
yeah.
saved her a lot. That could saved her life. But then again, I guess it was like one of those fight or flight situations. I guess she didn't have time to think.
That's just one way to put it.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, you have to stick with the formula. Team Rocket is blasting off again.
Yeah, but I don't think this Team Rocket is gonna come back anytime soon.
I guess not. But yeah, what's your last thing, dude?
Okay. All right. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a fix, but this is probably gonna be an unpopular opinion.
Uh-oh.
It's just
Uh-oh.
when I heard about the multiverse, it's like
The
how
MCU.
many times- Yeah, and only that, there's also what the whole isekai things going on in the anime section. It's just like, they could have done something about this, like do a little like in Bayonetta 2 where at the ending where Loki pulls out the card of nothingness or something like that. And then it's just like the whole future, the whole humanity's up to them now. They're free to do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that being some sort of thing for Singularity. Because if this is the realm of chaos, I'm pretty sure there is like some high-tech evil organization that wants to control the world or like make these into these homunculus monstrous weapons. And then it's just like they need like there could be like something like a remaining sage that could be somewhere that is not Baldur, that's like
You
probably
mean
sleep, or like
you mean like play towards the other two games in a multiverse fashion?
no.
You know? Well, I mean like
But this one's like this is more like a time travel kind of situation though.
yeah, that's true.
Because
Sorry, I'm just thinking of Avengers, man.
This is weird because
I
they
can't
combine
help.
multiverse and time travel.
Yeah,
yeah, and
that's
then
confusing.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you want it to be. And you want it to be like a time travel thing, or do you want to keep it in the time travel, or do you want to go lean over to the multiverse section? It's like
Which
I don't have
you know what, Soul? Now that you're kind of like talking about it, I just thought of
what?
that would help too. So you know how, spoiler alert, in a Bayonetta 3 you encounter the other Bayonettas from 1 and
Yeah.
2, and because those are quote unquote separate universes, right?
Yeah,
What if throughout the game you can see it from their perspective too, and they're kind of helping you, because essentially it's the same fighting style because they already
Yeah.
have it coded into the game. It's like, what if Bayonetta 1 went to time periods A, B, and C, and the Bayonetta
Yeah.
2 Bayonetta, it's just like they could have done it so much better. Yeah.
exactly. And then what's
They should have just focused on Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 characters, like the universes.
Yeah.
And then in the end, they come together, and that's how you have that finale.
Yup, that would have
Yeah.
been another way they could do it too.
and then there was and then the whole thing about like the trailer, we saw those human soldiers fighting out those monsters. I would have if they had that like in their they had that like bit more active, maybe like Rodon somewhat helping the humans.
Oh my god, Rodon didn't even help either.
I mean, he was there. He was there for a bit, but as a shopkeeper.
No,
No.
but I mean, like, if all the universes are collapsing, you'd think that a lot of these characters, kind of like what you guys were saying, they, from their respective timelines, even if they're the quote unquote big evil of their universe, there's something even greater that they could quote unquote potentially help going up
Yeah.
against, which is Singularity. But missed opportunity. That's all it is.
And, it's, and again, I can probably see that being as like a time travel, like a time loop issue thing, and then it's I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm like a little bit irritated by the whole multiverse thing. Again, I like the game. It's just the story. It's just I can understand Bayonetta 1 and 2 a little bit, but the third one is just like, wait, you're throwing multiverse things into this? How?
Out of nowhere,
Out
did
nowhere.
they even hint at it? So in 2 or no?
No, all they did was like say about paradoxes and time travels and stuff. There was no mentions of multiverses. Not that I know of.
Yeah.
It's just like, why would you put the time multiverse in?
And
in these
that's
things?
the problem with taking on a project like this. Something that is this ambitious and this big is they kind of went too large, to be honest, with the whole scope of everything. And like the game, don't get us wrong, gameplay is awesome, but
It is.
the story is kind of like it kind of fell all over the place.
It did, and not only that, I could probably see Bayonetta 3 trying to take a bit of like Bayonetta 1, like the whole evil organization, how it's like building up to make a world a better place by summoning Jubileus, and a bit of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, just a bit, just how it could have gone through.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh man,
Game's fun.
It is. It's just
Uh,
I have. I'm being ironic because I like crossovers and stuff, but this is just.
so bad.
I'm sorry, but it's just like how many?
No,
How
I'm
many
sorry, Soul. I'm sorry that
games or shows that have
I know
to do
you
that?
followed. I know you were following the whole Bayonetta story, and like I told you before, I don't really care too much about the story in the first place. But this is definitely for anyone who's like following the lore Bayonetta. This is probably like a hard hitting point for them.
It
for
is
sure.
even for Luca. I mean, yeah, he's cool and all, and he's an idiot. Where did he get that ability to turn into a werewolf thing? It's just like,
You'll find out in Bayonetta 5.
oh god. And more. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit further. The freaking the France level. Rosa was not supposed to have Bayonetta. There was supposed to be there is a forbidden law that Rosa is supposed to be separated from her child or something like that. And it's just like, hold on.
Yeah, that was weird.
Hold on a second. You imprisoned Rosa, the one that made love to a Lumen Sage. You let her
live.
be with her daughter.
Yeah.
What happened to the Lumen Sage? Did they just not exist or something? Or was there no Lumen Sage at this point? Where did what's going on?
And that's the problem. They're not they did not have enough time to flesh out those quote unquote universes, those other Bayonettas. They really give the player an explanation of why things work in that fashion for that universe. So that's the problem. That's unfortunate.
I'm just starting to think like I'm starting to think what you said, like this is a Todd Howard thing, it just works.
It works. Game's fun.
It is, but
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry man. I'm sorry. It's okay.
Hey, at least you have Devil May Cry.
Yep.
yeah.
You have Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I'm just
Well,
a little bit disappointed in the story a little bit.
well, you can finalize it in this next section right here. Okay, so let's get to the last bit, the last one. What is your final verdict and final rating from 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale?
Well, the game is super impressive that it can run on the Switch. It's just, I'm not being unironic this time.
Yeah.
It's actually impressive that at 60 FPS for the most part, and a lot of the gameplay, they managed to add a lot of stuff, a lot of visual stuff, even if it's like a visual clutter can be a hindrance. It's just impressive that they made it run so smooth with what they were limited with.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me imagine how how much they could have done and or what the game could have been if it was on a more powerful hardware. But besides that, I'm not gonna rag on it. It's cool to be able to play on the Switch. Just in general. Like the gameplay variety, just like the different things we talked about with the upgrades, the way that you can tackle each mission, the different levels that you can unlock in various challenges, and also just the way that overall the amount of replayability that you don't see to this level as much these days. And like the over the top stuff is, like some is good, some is bad in terms of like story, but in terms of like set pieces and like boss battles, like we didn't even talk about giant freaking
kaiju style
monster kaiju boss battles
with
like that
with the rock paper scissors kind of method.
Cool. We didn't even talk about that. Like all of that's so awesome. Story stuff, in my opinion, I think Bayonetta. I mean, I didn't play 2, so but Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 1. So you could disregard this opinion, but Bayonetta 1, from in my view, just like had a more contained story, not so over the top goofy. It had like goofy moments, but for like 3 kind of over its boundaries in terms of the wackiness and stuff. And this is my opinion. This is not Souls or Tubby's, I guess. But overall, I give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10. Next.
Oh, God. So, it's impressive that this can run on the Switch, not like a Pokemon. Man, and Noxo and I, we joke about all the time. But yeah, he's right. Genuinely, I mean it this time. I'm impressed that it can run on the Switch. And I'm not gonna lie, after Soul and I finished Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity this year, check out that podcast if you're interested, shameless plug. I was actually pretty worried about this game, and I was expecting to see it chug horribly with frame rate issues, frame rate drops after I saw like the first trailer and how crazy things were getting. I was like, oh God, please be smooth. Please actually have a steady frame rate. But yeah,
please don't break my Switch.
The game, like you guys are saying, ran incredibly smoothly. There were rarely any frame rate issues. It was silky smooth for the most part, which is impressive, especially when you consider the massive scope that Platinum Games went for with this game. Buildings collapsing everywhere, giant kaiju boss fights, larger than life weapons, finishers, summons, special attacks. There's a lot of crap happening on screen. And the Switch, for the most part, it was pretty smooth. And of course, as we stated before, gameplay and combat wise, Platinum Games, they were firing off on all cylinders, and we were in for the ride. It's like, good examples. One moment you're riding a large dragon demon monster, surfing across collapsing buildings, using large cruise ships as actual skates and rollerblades. I thought that was like the stupidest thing ever, but I was just laughing so hard. And the next thing you know, just when you thought you saw everything, you transform into like the bigger version of the Queen Butterfly, who's taking a bath in the clouds, rubbing her legs and splashing her bath water on enemies in the sky and destroying them. I was like, this game is just insane, and that's part of the charm of it. That's what people expect when they pick up and play a Bayonetta game. So they definitely delivered. So thank you, Platinum Games. Queen Butterfly is definitely a fan favorite for a lot of people now. But as we were saying earlier, not the biggest fan of the story. Again, I was honestly more interested in learning more about the other Bayonettas and how their universes worked than actually facing off against Singularity. I really don't care about that guy. He didn't deserve to be the main villain. I feel like he didn't earn it. He was just there. I don't even know why they gave him the freaking cores in the first place, the quote unquote doctor. And I hate this so much. They did John, what's her name? John is one of those two. They did Jean so dirty. When he freaking, spoiler alert, when he freaking stabbed her, I was like, are you kidding me? That's how they're going to kill her off. This character that's been since in the first game. That's how they decide to kill her off. Oh my God. I know like the really hardcore Bayonetta fans are probably foaming at the mouth when this happened.
Yeah.
They threw her under the bus. That's all it was. And it was unfortunate. That's how it ended. But yeah, really, this story is honestly the biggest thing for me. Like, that's one of the weakest components of the game. It's like they conceptually, it sounds great. I mean, you can tell a good multiverse story, but they just did not tell it the right way, and there just wasn't enough time to really pull everything together. And it's just unfortunate because yeah, this game was awesome. Overall package, the game was great. I had a great time with the game, and I really do think it has a lot of replayability. This score is coming from a person that's never really followed the Bayonetta story in the first place. This is actually the first time I really paid attention. So, with that said, I am giving Bayonetta 3 8.5 sexy dancing witches out of 10. It's a great game. You're going to have a good time with it. But as I'm sure Soul's going to stay in his opinion next, it's going to be, yeah, he's just a lot of problems with the story. And go ahead, Soul. I know you're going to jump into it. So,
Yep. I like the music. The gameplay is good. Even as they tested out like different waters of gameplay or the game mechanics, like the whole music one, the side-scrolling one, rail shooters and stuff like that. But the character of Viola, she really needs more time and work on how we play with her as a character, and the story. I'm sorry, Platinum, but please don't widen this story with the multiverse stuff, because I'm like, my brain was so confused from that, and the whole and you didn't need to make, spoiler alert, Luca and Bayonetta die off like that. There was no need. There was just no need for that. I've seen her in Bayonetta 1 and 2, and she managed to pull out the giant goddesses of chaos and took out the other hardcore final bosses out there.
Did she like punch a giant god from space into a planet or something? It was insane.
Yeah. and then over the top in the second one, when spoiler alert for Bayonetta 2, when Bayonetta and Baldur, who's the dad, were summoning Omni, the final summon, they just drop kicked the freaking lobster soul out of the body, or no, they drop kicked the body out to a Jean who was waiting for it, just like planned for summoning a giant dragon just to swallow the vessel while the spirit is just there. But for Bayonetta 3, we need more reason as to nail the reason why this, to like really care why they need to die off like this. I'm just like,
yeah.
I get it. Yes, singularity is strong, but this is nothing new to Bayonetta. It's just everywhere. I'm still, and yeah. All right.
In my opinion, they should have at the end when all three came together, they should have defeated Singularity without Bayonetta dying. In my opinion.
Guaranteed, that was really the coolest moment. That
was sick.
Yeah,
they're all punching together.
No, that was just to see.
He had the OUI too from Bayonetta 1.
Yeah, that I was actually like quietly screaming in my room as my parents were asleep because that happened.
It was freaking sick. No, that was honestly one of the best moments.
It got stomped on so immediately. They should not have fallen off like that. No way, they shouldn't.
And the thing too is he didn't earn it. He did not earn the right to snuff her out like that. And Jean, like, it just Luca. Yeah. You're telling me this nameless dude out of nowhere, he is now the strongest thing. You want us to accept that? Is like that. I think that's another thing that people just didn't like. Why? They should have developed that villain.
At least if they were going to go for a villain. I mean, even though people would have been divided, at least Rodin, could have been like a villain. At least he was appeared in 1, 2, and 3 up to that point if they wanted to go that route.
Yeah, or something.
I mean, he is considered strong according to the.
Yeah.
Then why didn't he do anything? Why did he participate?
He should have been there instead of Viola.
I think there was
helping out.
I think there was a reason. I forgot why.
Exactly.
He didn't want to join.
Well,
anyway, that's just our opinion.
Yeah. If we're completely off, you guys can just freaking let us know in the comment section if we're just big babies about it.
Yeah, especially because I'm like a little bit jumbled of the whole story thing.
No, the story is.
I mean, I only played Bayonetta 1.
Just want you to know.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's about it before I start rambling on about the story and the multiverses and stuff.
So, what's your final score?
So I'm just gonna give this an 8, despite the story. Being bad.
An 8.
That's my
10.
What would you? I'm curious. So, what would you get Bayonetta 1 and 2 if you were to rate them?
Bayonetta 1, I know it has some controller issues when I first played it. So, but the story wise, I can get to
clunky.
it. There's like in the characters. There's in the conflicts. It's somewhat resolved. At least there was some conflicts, but that's resolved. Bayonetta 2 as well. Honestly, I'd give that either an 8.5 or a 9
for Bayonetta 2.
1 and 2.
Oh, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
8.5 or a 9. Okay.
Yeah, and the story was the story themselves were linear and referencing to each other. Well, for 2, basically.
Yeah. Unlucky.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna give it.
That's the saddest 8 I've ever heard you give to a game.
No.
Because 8 is still a good score.
It is.
Yeah, it's still good. That's a good score.
Yeah, it's still a good score.
Viola had so much potential.
I shall have more. And Bayonetta 4.
Bayonetta 4 in 10 years.
Oh, yeah. 10 years.
Oh, my God. Okay. So, with that said, Bayonetta 3 gets our final average rating of 83.3% or 25 out of 30. That's it. But enough of that. No more talking about Bayonetta. Actually, we're still going to be talking about it, but this time we're talking about it in the bonus mystery question time. It's time. It's time for this. Bonus mystery questions were prepared ahead of time by everyone here, but no one knows who or what will be asking the question. It is time to spin the wheel of mystery. Spinning the wheel now. All right. Okay. So the bonus mystery question asker is, and I'm pretty sure this is rigged, is Nakuso again.
What can I say?
It's like your third or fourth time in a row.
Yeah, I keep winning the 50-50s.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like getting 2 or 3 5-star characters or weapons in a row.
He is on a roll. But yeah, Nakuso, what's your question?
If you could cross over any franchise with Bayonetta, what would it be?
Wow. Any franchise.
Yeah.
Is this only video games or literally any franchise?
Yeah, any franchise. Anything.
Any franchise.
SpongeBob.
Ooh. All right. Okay.
Anything.
I'm gonna cross over with Minions.
I mean, that's up to you.
Illumination. Oh, Chris Pratt Mario specifically. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and set the timer for 60 seconds. And we're gonna start the timer now.
mean, the obvious. There's an obvious one that everyone wants, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to say that.
Oh.
I'm going to say God of War. Just
Alright.
because there's a lot of different things that they could do. Since they introduced this, got me thinking. Since they introduced a multiverse, you might as well lean into it. Let's go into the multiverse where Kratos is, and also it kind of leans into like the whole God of War, being also to go to like different universes as well. So
All right.
I just thought like if you have them together, both combined, how broken and awesome would that be? They have like kind of similar goals, They both try to protect. Now, I mean, Kratos used to. I mean, we don't talk about the past, but now he's different. He's changed.
He's a papa.
Sort of. Yeah, so I just thought it'd be awesome because there's people who pit these characters against each other, but in my opinion, I feel like for some reason Bayonetta and Kratos would get along very well to the point of actually becoming a couple.
Damn.
And
hold on. Time out for a second there.
Yes.
You're saying you want the aggressive God of War who is too angry to be killed to be buddy with the with the Umbra Witch.
Yeah. Vegeta and
Did I hear that
Bulma.
right?
Yes, that's right.
Vegeta and Bulma. That's
He's
basically the dynamic relationship. Yeah. He's different.
Yeah. He's different now. In the newest God of War.
Okay, so you're talking about that kind of God of War, not
I'm talking about the updated, the new
The
version.
Kratos who's already experienced everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine with me.
The current one.
If it was the young Kratos, I'm pretty sure.
Oh no,
she needs to be on his good side.
He's on his character development arc. That's why. Now he's ready. Take it to the next step.
Because he was ready to settle down, try to settle down again in 2018.
Yeah.
Hold on a second there. He already had 2 wives.
Well, time for a third. Third time's a charm. That's what they say.
Oh God.
Something I felt like they would just, get together. She dances sexy. He dances sexy in Fortnite, so it makes sense that like at this point together, it just makes sense.
It just
he would just do his standard Fortnite dance while she uses her dance.
Stop. No, please
you have a lot of mini games too.
Yeah.
And Bayonetta and God of War. You know what that means?
You know what that means? What does that mean?
That's gonna mean that the child in the future
is gonna be really broken.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think it'd just be cool in general, just like gameplay wise. I mean, they have not. I mean, come on, the yo-yos. That's pretty much a nod to God of War.
That's basically
right?
God of War.
Rygar, when you think about it, Tubby.
Rygar? Nah, not that fluidity and movement. But yeah.
But it has that yo-yo feeling to it.
Anybody even remember what Rygar is?
What is that?
It's something.
If you know what Rygar is, put it in the comment section below. I know and I breathe Rygar. All right.
I see you played it too, Tubby.
I know. PS2 game.
Oh my God.
Pretty cool. All right. So
that's what I would do.
Kratos and Bayonetta. All right. Like it.
Next.
Okay. So the obvious one, I'm just going to let Soul say it because we already know what he's going to say. It's the obvious one. So I'll skip that. I didn't really think of anything in this 1 minute. I wrote Dante Bayonetta. That's it. But okay. I need to think of something quick. Okay, so a character that matches her level of enthusiasm, her level of over the top enthusiasm, excitement, matching that kind of energy. Here's a throwback. I know Noxa knows this. Maybe Soul knows this. It would be cool to see her and Beautiful Joe.
Oh my Lord.
Wow. That's so weird.
Because I was just thinking like personality-wise, because they're both kind of over the top with what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like Beautiful Joe, he's more catering towards comics, but again, it's the same kind of energy too. And I think it would be really cool to see them tackle a kind of like side scrolling, similar to like what we saw with John, like that, but more action oriented, like an action adventure game, but presented in that format, and then have Beautiful Joe and Bayonetta. I think would be freaking sick, or just a game of that style and that quality, and that kind of presented in that way would be really cool.
It's gonna be more than it rated M if that's gonna be the case.
Henshin a go baby. What?
Oh no!
Yeah, if you guys don't know what Beautiful Joe is, definitely check it out. It's probably like one of the most wanted game franchises people want to kind of come back from Capcom, but I don't really know how well it did. I don't know how well it's sold. Is it do you think there would ever be another one? Does it does it have enough popularity to warrant it? It's hard to say.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's a Capcom game.
Yeah.
So they could.
And he always appears as like cameo or like a side character in a lot of their fighting games, unlockable. So
they might.
I'd like to see that. You know, if Dante can have Bayonetta, so can Beautiful Joe. They have this. I think it would just be funny. Because I know Beautiful Joe would be posing alongside her. So yeah, that would be my thing. Gameplay wise. Or they could go really crazy, and I highly doubt it would happen, but make Beautiful Joe 3D, but I don't think that would happen. I think a 2D. I think a 2D style. I mean, he essentially has witch time. He's able to fast forward and slow down footage, video footage. So I think it's doable. Oh, and then for Noxo, throw some Fortnite dances in there too. Why not?
No.
All right. Okay. On to you, Soul. Say it. Just say it.
All right.
Do it. Say it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Time to go left field then.
You're not gonna say it? Oh man. All right. Let's hear it.
Well, how desperate do you want me to say it first?
Hey man, whatever you say, it's whatever you want to say. Forever recorded this podcast and posted on the internet.
I mean, then again, there's already a fight. There's already a screw attack fight with Bayonetta and Dante. So let's go out of left field for this one. Gundam and Bayonetta.
Holy crap! That's super out of left field.
It is super out of left field.
Mine was left field, but yours is the field on the other side of the world.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's already mechs in Bayonetta 2, so why not add more mechs in Bayonetta in the next Bayonetta crossover?
Oh, jeez. Okay, so to describe how it would kind of like play, I guess. How would it work? Okay, picturing.
Picture this: aliens, giant mecha-sized aliens invading Earth. Lumen sages and Umbran witches put their differences aside. Bayonetta, top witch fighter and top pilot. They make a special Gundam that can.
What?
They make specialized mechs that uses either Lumen power or Umbran power. And once Bayonetta fights the final boss on this alien invasion, it's gonna be bigger. Her Gundam will be using her powers through the Gundam and her Umbran witch abilities. She will summon the giant mech of all time, just to over the top destroy one enemy villain in the freaking alien invasion.
A Queen Butterfly mech?
Something like that.
That would actually make sense.
I mean, guarantee there is a Gundam that has like a butterfly wings on it.
All right.
Nakaso, you've seen it before. I mean, you've seen it before in Gundam Evolution.
Yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
pictured it, and that is
It's really out of
it's really out there. I was definitely not expecting that.
It's really out of left field.
All right. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nakaso, for that question.
You're welcome.
Next.
Okay. So, anyways, that concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club. Thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to like, follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, whatever platform you're able to find us on. Links in the description box below. Take care. Have a good one. And if you would like to join and play alongside us, hasn't happened yet, be sure to keep a lookout for the VGBC announcement videos over on YouTube. With that said, we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.